I'm gonna do the intro.
So cool.
Blah blah blah. Huh?
So cool. That's the name of the song.
So cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll check it out.
Shit.
All right. Guess what? We are live on YouTube. This is the Living Numbers live stream, and I am your host, Tony Rambles, and this person needs no introduction. He has been on the podcast. I think this is what, your third or fourth time coming on? I think it's your fourth time.
On my third. Well, no, I know that we did the playoffs and then we had to do the recap. Oh, and then we did the fifth episode, I know for a fact. And so this would be number 4.
Fourth time being on the podcast. This man needs no introduction. The Marine, Mr. Property, secondhand natural scientist, my cousin Big Stu. Say what's up.
How are you all doing? Thank you again for having me, Anthony. I really appreciate it. Every time you have me on, I always have a great time.
I just want everybody to know that I always try to get Big Stu on the podcast, but I literally have to like bribe him or twist his arm or threaten. I don't know. I can't threaten his family because we are family. But it's always a great time. We always differ on a lot of stuff. So it's always a good idea to have him on. And this is going to be fun. Oh, we can't hear you. Nope, not yet. Uh-oh, your headphones raggedy. All right, well, Big Stu is going to be back. Make sure you guys, in the meantime, make sure you make sure you drop kick that like button. I'm always in and out. I got a love-hate relationship with wrestling. But make sure you guys drop kick that like button. Make sure you smack the subscribe button and throw a people's elbow down there in the comments if you are with me here. Even if you're listening to this a long time from now, I want you guys to throw a people's elbow in the comments if you're listening to this. I think Big Stu is coming back.
Yo, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but your screen's frozen.
But now I'm having screen issues.
That's what it looks like. Uh-oh, wait a second. Flip the camera back.
Yeah, that's what I just tried.
It's flipped now. I can see what's going on there. Look like a bed.
No, that's not a bed. This is the kitchen table, and that is me.
Hello. Oh, yeah. I've been to your house before.
There we go. All right. Headphones.
All right, we
died is what happened.
So we got Big Stu back, and we are going to be talking some NBA offseason. We're going to talk trades. We're going to talk free agency, what we're looking forward to. But our first thing, we're just going to talk trades. What do you think, Rudy Gobert? What about that trade?
That I don't know what was going on. It was like, okay, so sometimes I don't know, maybe it's because of like how old I am, right? I feel like maybe stuff happens and I don't understand because it's like new NBA stuff happening. But like that makes no sense to me. That makes no sense to me in the 1980s. That makes no sense to me in the 1990s. Like, what are we doing? Like, did we not see how good Anthony Edwards looked? Shouldn't we be like, how do we help Anthony Edwards right now? Should be what we're thinking in Minnesota. Rudy Gobert, how does he help Anthony Edwards? It doesn't look like the thought, how do we help Anthony Edwards was going on when we were making this trade. And so I don't know what they were doing with Rudy. I have no idea what they were doing with Rudy Gobert. I thought that was a joke.
Minnesota was the number one offense in the regular season. Mm-hmm. And their defense was suspect. So they go, okay, maybe we can just tighten this defense up if we go get Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert is a really great defensive player in the regular season.
But we're
And
not
in the
going to replace.
postseason, obviously, it's going to be matchup dependent. Is if
Don't they
100%.
already have that problem though?
Yep. And that's why I also don't like the trade, because I feel like in the regular season is going to help when people are not able to prepare and scheme for these two big guys. They're going to win a lot of games because they are good players in their own right, individually. But it's not an individual game. It's a lot of it is about how do players fit together. Now, Edwards is going to be, that dude is, we're going to see like Edwards and Ja in the West for a long
No, we
time.
not. No, we not. They are going to stunt this boy's growth. It's what is going to happen in Minnesota. I know what my second wish is now already. Now we will get to that later. Go ahead, but no, we're not.
Well, I think that Chris Finch is a good coach. They got the guy over from Denver. Because look, what was Minnesota before last year? They sucked. Okay, so they got Anthony Edwards. They brought him in. They drafted him. Okay, they figured out a defense that was good enough to get them to the playoffs. They've never had a number one offense in the league. So they are doing some things. And so you take a big swing on a guy like Rudy Gobert to say, well, Cat is not a rim protector. He hasn't become a rim protector. He's not a guy that wants to play inside. So we got to get a rim protector next to him. And so Rudy Gobert is probably the best rim protector in the league.
Andrew Wiggins changed absolutely nothing, but got out of Minnesota. That is all he changed. He did nothing different. And look at how much better he looked simply because he is not in Minnesota.
Yeah, it's a different team. It's a different, when he's being asked to do different things, though. He's not number one.
Him to do the wrong stuff then. And that's your whole job as a coach.
Yep. Well, Chris Finch just got there. He just got there. So Chris Finch is the reason why he got that job. He came from Toronto.
He's going to be the guy, and we think Alex Rodriguez making trades for Rudy Gobert is what's going to do it.
I think, what are you supposed to do? Stand pat? Run it back?
Where were they in the draft?
Would you rather them get Ayton?
Yeah, because we could have got Ayton for a lot cheaper than Rudy Gobert.
I think, what about the compensation? Well, clearly you think the compensation was too much because they shouldn't have drafted, or they shouldn't have traded for him.
No, they gave up. What did they give up? They gave up 2 number ones, didn't they? 3 number ones.
No, they gave up like 5 number ones and 2 swaps. And like
those
50 players.
For Rudy Gobert.
But I think if you go, hey, we get, I don't know. I think there is something to, let's just get more talent in here. Yeah, we got to figure out how it fits. That's the coach's job. You can't argue that Rudy Gobert is not a more talented player than what they had on the roster with what he does. No, you are unreasonable, Big Stu.
No, I think I could find a young guy cheaper to do that.
To be a 3-time defensive player of the year?
No, I don't need him to be 3. I just need him to be decent. If I got the number one offense and I take a small jump in defense, that's going to be a big improvement.
So you rather them just keep Jared Vanderbilt, because that's basically what you're saying. That's the guy. Keep Jared Vanderbilt, stand pat, and just see where we are next year.
Yeah, because I think Anthony Edwards is good, and I think if we don't do something stupid like trade all our draft picks away and bring in Rudy Gobert, then we might be able to, build it slowly.
What if
you need at least 3 good drafts?
What if instead of them doing a deal for DeJounte Murray, Minnesota did it? Instead of Atlanta, Minnesota go, okay, here you go, 2 picks in the swap. Give us DeJounte Murray. No, you don't like that deal either?
Minnesota not close enough.
Okay.
No, you shouldn't start dealing away picks until you get close. Until
it's a Drew Holiday trade. Yep. Okay.
Now
that makes sense.
To hell with these because if I get Holiday and I lock him up, These picks is about to be in the back of the draft any damn way. To hell with these damn picks.
Yep.
Minnesota's
And
not
I
there
think
yet.
I mean, if you could get a guy like Murray, who is just coming to the end of his first contract, he's
And
on a
that's
team,
the type
he's
of
on a super team friendly deal too. All-star. He did everything in San Antonio. And
he
you could
need to
get rid of
go.
D'Angelo Russell.
He need to go somewhere where he can win. And so I like him in Atlanta. Leave him in Atlanta. No.
I would have pulled the trigger for the Murray deal. Cause now you're talking about 2 picks in a swap. Real, and like you said, those back end picks,
Minnesota
those
ain't
don't always become players that's even useful.
how
2
good
picks,
Minnesota gonna be trash for the next 3 years minimum.
that's
How long is
tough.
that
Okay,
Rudy Gobert contract?
that's the scary part. It's like 4 years, 140. It's crazy.
Yeah, I bet you 3 of them years they out in the first round if they make it to the first round.
I never would have traded for Rudy Gobert because I don't believe in paying big guys that are that limited
Not
that much
them.
money.
Not that guy. JaVale
Embiid,
McGee do his job.
Jokic, you pay those guys. You don't pay Rudy
JaVale
Gobert.
McGee do his job.
Exactly. Okay, let's get off Rudy Gobert. That was only the one trade. What about the DeJounte Murray trade? Because what I heard was San Antonio basically went to him and said, okay, well, let's do an extension. He was like, I'm not signing an extension this year. I'm not signing an extension next year. I'm going into free agency because they got him on his deal is real reasonable. I think it's like in the teens, like 16 to 18 million or something like that. And dude just became an all-star and he's showing some things. I kind of put him and a guy like SGA in
Mm-hmm.
this category where they're really talented players, but they on teams that's not trying to win. So
Mm-hmm.
what they're supposed to do? Play bad? No, you hoop and you've seen the progression of these guys.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think about the Atlanta and DeJounte Murray deal?
We're gonna see what they do with Collins.
Uh-huh.
But that backcourt too small. Any backcourt that's got Trae Young gonna be small.
Yeah.
And so Murray kind of fill that gap a little bit with some size. And so we're gonna see it's got the coaches in Atlanta.
No,
I
it's not
forget
Lloyd
his name.
Pierce. He got fired last year.
Yeah, exactly. They fired
There's
Lloyd
another
Pierce.
black guy, ain't it?
I want to say it's Nate McMillan. Where is Nate McMillan right now?
I think it is Nate McMillan because he got the job once Lloyd Pierce got
Lloyd
fired.
Pierce got fired. And so I got a little bit of confidence that he can figure it out. But I like Murray as a player a lot. That's why I feel so good about Cade. Like, because I look at guys like Murray and I like, okay, that's what the point guards are about to look like. We've got one of the better looking ones, And so
Oh, yeah.
we'll see.
We're gonna get to the Pistons. Okay.
Yeah.
I like the deal, but people keep talking about, Trae Young could play like Steph Curry. Like if anybody could play like Steph Curry, like everybody would do it. It takes a lot of trust, number one, in your team to be a guy like Steph, a guy like Trae, to get off the ball and really play 15 seconds of the shot clock without the ball, moving constantly, coming off screens. And don't forget, he sets screens for other guys. So not anybody could just do this. I'm tired of people saying that Trae Young could just play like Steph Curry. Like, bro, he's not Steph. Okay, there's a reason why Steph is Steph. Like, stop doing that. Stop it.
Right.
It is good to get more defense, get bigger in the backcourt, and I like Murray. His progression has been great. I didn't think he was going to. I mean, you just don't know with a guy like him. You're like, well, I didn't see that much, but you look at his frame, you look at his athleticism, you go, okay, maybe we can make him into something.
Good, or he could be Dante Exum. You remember Dante Exum?
Oh yeah, I remember Dante. Or he could be Elfrid Payton.
Right, exactly. And so it's like, well, wait a minute. All this name supposed to be talent, and no. But I think Murray's gonna do good in Atlanta.
Yeah. I think they'll be. Like you said, I don't trust Trae Young as my number one player because he's just tiny. He's really, people think Steph Curry is small. Like Trae Young is tiny. He's very little.
Yeah. And like I was talking to Tone yesterday, And no, I was talking to Troy and D'Angelo yesterday.
Uh-oh.
And they were talking about like in real life, Steph Curry's a big person. Like Steph Curry's like
Right. He like
6'4",
6'3".
yeah, and like 200 something pounds. And so he was talking about how in soccer, you're big if you're like 6'1", 190. And the reason why you're big in soccer is because soccer is like so global. Average size people play soccer. So average
Right.
guys in soccer is like 5'10", 170. And so a guy like Steph Curry would look huge on a soccer field, right? And that's what we need, D'Angelo and everybody. And so Trae Young looks like a child
Yes.
on the basketball court. It's like, bro, you look soccer size out there. What is you doing out there? This is the NBA, baby. It's not soccer.
It's regular people that's bigger than you.
Right. Right.
I
And
could
it's like,
go, I could go down the street to Rouge and find somebody that's bigger than Trae.
I could, like, no lie. You go to St. Cecilia any Saturday, and like there's gonna be several people bigger than Trae
Go to
Young.
the rec. D3 players. But I mean, the dude is a special talent as far as being able to shoot the ball, being able to pass the ball. It's just, man, when you get a team that can hunt that dude, it's gonna be real tough. So
And all of the good teams have point guards that are gonna be able to hunt him.
I think that people looked at what he did 2 years ago, where
You mean when
they
when
ran
Ben Simmons
into
choked, when Ben
what
Simmons choked, when Ben Simmons
exactly?
choked and wasted Joel Embiid's MVP
Yep.
performance.
And they played the Knicks, who don't have anybody that can take your heart out. So
Then
exactly. So we'll talk about the Knicks later and the Hawks again. But those are a couple of trades. Am I missing one? Was it another trade?
no, not that I cared about.
Now, what about the trade that everybody's anticipating? The one that we all waiting on. We can't do an NBA offseason podcast without talking about Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Russell Westbrook. What are they going to do there?
I told
So
you
what
how
do
I
you
felt
think?
about it. What I think somebody needs to call one of these guys bluffs at some point. And no, you ain't going nowhere. And as a matter of fact, I'm fining you for breach of contract. Every day you don't come to work, every day you don't come to practice. As a matter of fact, how many practices are we gonna have? Total it up at the beginning of the year for the rest of the contract. Here go your fine. Go fuck off and do I'm sorry. Go mess around and do whatever you want to do. You pay your fines because you got so much money. You're making all this shoe money fine. Pay your fines and go away. And you sit for 2 years, 3 years, however long I got you on contract. And that's what I would do with Kevin Durant. And that's especially what I would do with Kyrie. There's absolutely no way I would
So
pay Kyrie.
so you're going to you wouldn't trade him.
Nope.
What if you got a great deal?
What's a great deal?
Uh, what if you could get 3 first-round picks for Kyrie?
Okay, yeah. Get Kyrie out of here then. But
Okay.
3 first
So
rounders,
you're just saying you're not giving them away just because they want to get out. I got to get the deal that I want to get, or you sit home.
Yep.
So you're
And
gonna
I'm
have
finding you while you at the house.
you're gonna have $70 million in 2 roster spots sitting at the house instead of
So
getting rid of them.
so they're gonna
I
be getting
think Big
fined.
Stu would be fired. Okay, if you agree
I'm the
with
owner
me,
of the team in this
put it in the
situation.
comments. Well, if you're the owner, you can do whatever you want to do.
Right, exactly. But no, somebody's gonna have to because no. And the shoe companies is gonna have to get involved. That's where it would get to. It would get to because it's like the owner's crazy. The shoe companies would have to come to me and be like, bro, you're gonna really like sit him. I'm gonna be like, yeah, because shoe companies is who run all of that. Like, yes. And so now I know, oh, you can't sell shoes without him on the floor, huh? Get your man's in order then. No, he plays here or he don't play. Get out of my face. That's what I tell the shoe company. No, I'm not. I would not be playing this with them. Get out of here. Look, do you know why the Bulls, right? They are going to be good on accident because they owner cares about the White Sox. He don't care about the Bulls. The Bulls can be 20 win team. They could be a championship team. He cares about the White Sox. And so that's why he don't take none of that mess from none of them. You want to leave? No. You want to go somewhere? Get him out of here again. Like he cares. He does not care. And that is how I would operate. Nope. Sitting there. It's 2 all-star spots. So we're going to lose 20 games. So because when it was Karis LeVert and when it
But your
was
team
Joe
sucks.
Harris, when it was Karis LeVert and it was Joe Harris and it was Jared Allen, at least we was winning games.
Angelo
Now we done
Russell.
got
Yep.
rid of all of them dudes,
Kenny
and we got
Atkinson.
these guys crying, talking about they want to leave. Nah, I'd sit their ass down. We suck and we take them draft picks and we rebuild with y'all asses on the bench. Sooner or
You don't
later.
have any draft picks. You sold them all to Houston.
So you definitely not going nowhere. He's sitting there for them 3 years, and I'm finding him every day for practice that he missed, and I'm finding him for every game. Get out of here. No, you're not blowing my team up and then leaving. Nigga, please. Wrong guy. Wrong guy.
Only way you can move forward is to trade those guys and recoup assets.
No, that's a lie.
Nobody's coming to see your team. Kevin Durant at the house, Kyrie at the house. Why are we coming?
Time out. If we win, did they come see Karis LeVert?
I don't know. It's Brooklyn.
Okay, then. And so look. Jerry Rothstein. So they don't come, they come, they don't come. I don't. So, because guess what?
TV money.
Tomorrow, right? Tomorrow is the day you was worried about yesterday. Think about that. So no, you say we can't wait. Yeah, we can wait them out. 3 years from now, who's the owner of the Nets? Me. 3 years from now, that's 3 years of your prime you wasted. 3 years of points, rebounds, assists that you will never get back. That's all 3 years. Your numbers just took a hit. That's 3 years the game moved on without you, Kevin Durant. Guess who it didn't move with him without? The Brooklyn Nets, because the game don't stop. Your replacement getting drafted every year, every April. Every April, it's a comp. Who's that guy's comparison? Kevin Durant. Jason Tatum was just in the finals this year.
When did they become Kevin Durant?
Every April. No, sit down and be quiet. Sit down and be quiet. No, how old is Kevin Durant too?
34.
Hell to the no. You got more years behind you than you do in front of you too.
You better come to work.
No, or don't. Get fined every day, bro. At the end of your career, when all the numbers you supposed to be chasing is in jeopardy, nah, you on the bench. Get out of my face. Because 3 years from now, I'm still going to own the team. What you going to be? 3 more years behind LeBron in numbers. 3 more years watching Steph in the finals clowning you. 3 more years watching Jason Tatum and Antetokounmpo winning the stuff that you supposed to be winning. How that's going to look when Kawhi Leonard get back. You want to sit out 3 years? Keep playing with me if you want to. Hell no. Wrong guy. But they soft. And that's why they're going to let these guys, the softest guys in the league are running the league now. Get out of here. No, not when you ain't won nothing without Steph. What have you won without Steph, KD? To be demanding a trade to me. Get out of my face. Be ready to work. And try not to get embarrassed.
Okay, what if Phoenix say, all right, I'll give you Bridges.
No.
I'll give you Cam Johnson.
No.
I'll give you Ayton on the sign and trade.
No.
I give you 5 picks and 2 swaps.
No.
So you won't even take a good deal.
No.
Okay.
I want Ayton. I want Booker. I want 5 of your picks. That's unreasonable. Oh no, what's unreasonable is what KD is asking me to do. That's unreasonable.
True. Okay. All right. Hey, if I could get Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges, and I could get what's the last dude? Ayton.
Look
and
at
I could
that.
get
What's
5
the
picks and
last
2
dude
swaps
for Kevin Durant? What's the last dude for Kevin Durant? Wow.
That's
hell no. He'd sit there and waste his prime. He'd sit there at the end of his prime. It's gonna hurt you more than it hurt me. I still own the team.
But you're not gonna get another star. You're gonna have to draft them because they ain't coming to your team.
So they're gonna know they're gonna okay.
Why do you own the team if you don't want to win? Just to make money.
Anthony. Do Miami have problems attracting stars?
You ain't Miami, you Brooklyn.
Okay, but did Miami get Miami by letting LeBron do whatever the hell he want to do? Exactly.
Nope.
And he was
had the right
LeBron.
people in place.
Hey, Hey, LeBron hung banners in Miami and didn't get to do what the hell he want to do. You, Kevin Durant, ain't won shit, and you're gonna get to do what you want to do. No, you're gonna sit down and be quiet. You'll waste away. You will waste away and fade away. They will forget about you. Get out of here. No, he sits. Him and Kyrie. You and your sage buddy go sit in the corner. We will suck.
Okay. All right. That's enough on Kevin Durant. I'm not mad at your stance though. At the very least, it's entertaining.
All right. But yeah, no, somebody's gonna have
Wait, what you gonna do with Westbrook? He's terrible.
Westbrook is terrible. Not the situation y'all put him in. So he just forgot how to play basketball. That's my third wish, is that they get him out of there. I want Westbrook to get traded so that he can show everybody he's not the problem.
What's the problem in LA then?
LeBron and that roster he put together, they too old, they too slow, and they can't shoot. Like, come on, we knew what the problems was gonna be before the season. We knew
Westbrook can't shoot either.
We knew that though. Did we know that before the season started, or did we just find it out during this season?
I think when you put together a roster around stars and those stars get injured, if you got LeBron, Westbrook, and no Anthony Davis, like where's that team supposed to go anyway? Westbrook can't shoot. He's a terrible shooter.
Hold on.
He was missing dunks, missing layups.
Stop.
Terrible free throw shooter.
Can I ask you a question? Before this season, was Anthony Davis' health a reliable thing that we could put like, oh, well, we know Anthony Davis is durable.
Why are we what are you supposed to do? Anybody could get injured.
This dude,
you can't put together a team saying, okay, well, Anthony Davis is going to be injured for half the season.
Why not? When has he not been?
That team is not going to win.
Oh, so it sounds like you got an Anthony Davis problem.
Well, that's a different question altogether.
No, it ain't. That nigga the problem.
So would you trade him too?
Yep.
So you keep Russell Westbrook and trade Anthony Davis?
I sure would.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Because how good? Okay, so do I want...
What about the turnovers? What about Westbrook turnovers?
Man, no. Westbrook turnovers and all that was because he was pressing, trying to make something happen, because Anthony Davis ain't there like he always ain't there. And the Westbrook pressure being in LA,
he's always played like this though. So when you don't have nobody else on your team, you can do whatever you want to do. Nobody cares. You're in Washington. You're not going anywhere anyway. You're in Oklahoma City. No Kevin Durant. It's just you. Who cares? You can do whatever you want. You don't have any stars. There's nobody to answer to.
Didn't win. Those teams wasn't in the playoffs, Anthony. Those teams didn't win. Those teams wasn't in the playoffs.
The ones without Kevin Durant in Oklahoma City.
Mm-hmm.
He got them to the playoffs his MVP year. The rest of the years they weren't in the playoffs.
Okay, but he got hurt one of them years too, right?
And then he went to Houston, and that team was a disaster. They lost in the bubble. I think they lost in the bubble to LA.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And LA went on to win the championship. Okay, you might go, all right, well, LA was a good team. And then he went to Washington with Beal. And I don't think they made the playoffs. I think they got to the play-in.
I thought they won that play-in game.
Did they?
I think they did. I don't know if they did or didn't, but okay. But that was only going to go so far too. But my thing is this. Anthony Davis we rely on him too much for him to be there as little as he's there. So either we got to rely on him less or we give him less money.
When he wasn't there, what was Russell Westbrook doing? He was terrible.
But the team was built in a way that team. So the team's biggest flaws was they was old and they can't shoot. And then we look at Russell Westbrook to fix those two problems.
Well, you can't be throwing the ball away, and that ain't gonna help.
I'm saying
that's not gonna help.
He was pressing because he
knew. You heard it here first. Big Stu would keep Russell Westbrook and trade Anthony Davis. Would you trade LeBron too? And just put Westbrook by himself? Look at him thinking about it. Oh
no. No, I wouldn't put Westbrook by himself. I would go LeBron, Westbrook, and then try to get younger.
Okay. I like what they did this offseason.
Yeah, we're gonna
Everybody's
see.
younger and more athletic.
I'm waiting to see their summer league team's gonna be on soon.
They got a guy from Detroit Mercy. I think his last name is Bass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
of course, it's summer league, but like if you playing well, you playing well. What would you want me to say? Oh, it's summer league. Like you're supposed to. I don't know.
Yeah,
I like him.
no.
He's
Bass is pretty good because I've seen him play a lot because they come on TV here a lot. And so
yep.
yeah, that's another thing that I like about summer league too, is that you see like dudes like Bass and dudes like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. I know that dude. But I was watching OKC in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you so high on Houston?
Well, okay. See, Houston, they got Jalen Green, who is. I
Mhm.
don't believe he's playing in the summer league, is he?
He didn't. They interviewed him.
Yeah.
He was talking
Jalen
about
Green.
Fashion Week and how much fun he had at Fashion Week. I was like, oh, okay. This dude, man, please.
He's very talented, very explosive. Can dang near get to the rim whenever he feel like
It's the
it. Okay.
NBA. Everybody can.
They say that, but can you get to the rim against the best guys? I
I
think
ain't seen.
Jalen Green
Okay,
will be able
I'm
to.
gonna watch this dude. I want to see him do it when he get out there.
Okay, can Kyle Kuzma get to the rim whenever he feel like it? I don't think the answer is yes. Can Kevin Love get to the rim when he feel like it?
Ah,
Caruso, like I mean, it's guys
okay.
that can't get to the rim
Yeah,
against
Kevin
good
Love.
players.
Wow, that's the
So
extreme you got to go to.
okay, name a point guard.
Name a point guard.
I mean, can
No, you
can
name.
Malcolm Brogdon get to the rim whenever he feel
Yeah.
like it? We're not talking about
Okay.
the best players. Like the
Right.
best
Right.
players are
Yeah.
so not everybody has the ability to just,
Right.
oh, it's
Okay.
the
Right.
NBA. I hate when people say that. I'm talking about
Yeah.
NBA players relative to other NBA players, not against me,
Mm-hmm.
you. So,
Mm-hmm. Not
because if they
Malcolm
could,
Brogdon.
guess what? It wouldn't be so many people out the league every year.
Malcolm Brogdon would look like Paul Bunyan compared to me and you, though.
Absolute. I don't know. I don't think he's that big.
Oh no, I'm talking about on a basketball. I saw Lindsey Hunter play at St. Cecilia one time, and he looked
Uh-huh.
like Superman, and it was just Lindsey Hunter.
And Lindsey Hunter, that dude was a bucket though.
Yeah,
Love
because
Lindsey Hunter.
it was like
No,
24,
I
25
think
year old.
Brogdon is a bigger guard. I am have to agree with you.
Yeah,
He ain't
that's what
no
I'm
Trae
saying.
Young.
Yeah, Brogdon would look like Paul Bunyan compared to us on a
Okay, here we
basketball
go.
court. All right,
Three
you sent me a
wishes.
different 3 wishes.
Okay, so this is basically three things that you wish would happen. Is it? It may not. I think
Mm-hmm.
the things that I have on my list, they're definitely probably not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But my first wish is I want De'Aaron Fox to get out of Sacramento, right? Because this is one of the organizations that they've just been terrible for a long time. They ruined Boogie, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wish that De'Aaron Fox will go to Washington and play with Bradley Beal. And now you have a real backcourt that can do some things. And who knows if Porzingis will ever be healthy again. He screwed me over because I had them as a Lakers light when he was over in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
He laughed at me reasonably so. So I would like to see Fox play with Beal. Legit backcourt, legit point guard. At the very least, get out of Sacramento. What say you?
No, because I
Know
like
what?
the Keegan Murray. I like the Keegan Murray draft pick. I watched Sacramento play Detroit. No, I watched Washington play Detroit yesterday. I watched Sacramento play Houston. No,
Mm-hmm.
I watched Houston play OKC. I forgot who Sacramento played, but Keegan Murray looked good. I like De'Aaron Fox and Keegan Murray. I like the kid from Baylor, the two guard from Baylor called Long
it's
Day
not it's
Edwards.
not about the players,
I
the
like Vlade Divac being
organization.
in charge. I like Vlade Divac being in charge. No, yes, I do. Yes, I like Doug
He's
Christie as the head
terrible.
coach. I like Doug Christie as the coach. I like all
Oh
of
my
it.
goodness. Doug
No,
Christie's
I
not
mean,
Doug. Mike Brown is the coach of the real team.
Okay,
And
yeah,
you've seen the guys in summer league. You haven't seen them actually play with the real team.
I like Sacramento. I like the direction they headed in. No, do not blow it up. Keep De'Aaron Fox there. I want Sacramento to be good because they got dudes I like. The kid from Baylor, I can't remember his name either because
They
he's a
won't be
two-way.
good. Davion
Who?
Mitchell.
Yeah, yeah. Davion
They're not going
Mitchell.
to be
So that
good.
one, two,
Sacramento's going to
three.
screw it up.
No, that 1, 2, 3 is going to be nice. I like that. I like
Okay.
Davion Mitchell and De'Aaron Fox in the backcourt with Keegan Murray, and then you need another athlete to be at the
That
wing.
backcourt is small too. Remember, Davion
Not
Mitchell like
Edwards.
6 foot.
Not Edwards. Edwards is a bigger guy.
Fox is in your backcourt.
They'll be all right. Who are the big backcourts in the West Coast?
What's your next wish?
No, that was your wish.
What's your first wish?
My first wish is the Pistons stay healthy. Because
I'm with
all
you.
of the dudes we got, we just need everybody to stay healthy, and we should win 40 games.
So we be 40 and 42?
Something around there. Somewhere hovering around 500-ish.
That's a young team. A lot of young teams don't know how to win yet.
I know, but see, here's the thing. The problem with young teams winning is defense, is they don't know how to get stops when they need stops. And last night, that Washington team made a run at them. They still kept that Washington team under 100 points. They got the stops when they needed to get stops. My boy Beef Stew hit the big three when they needed to get the big three. So they can get the buckets when they need the buckets, but they can get the stops. As long as they can keep getting the stops, if they stay healthy. Because Ivy was cooking Washington before he got hurt.
He's explosive. He does look like people compare him to Ja, and I can see that. He's not at the level quick twitch wise. Ja is special, but he's up there. Like he's a guy that's gonna be really explosive and cause problems. But I hope he can keep the turnovers down. We saw that in the first game where maybe that was jitters, summer league first action. But also we gotta continue to remember, even though some of the guys that are playing are going to be on the team, you're still missing a bunch of guys like Cade and Bagley and hopefully some of these other guys that's going to be playing. But we do have a bunch of players playing that are going to be contributors like Saban Lee and like Beef Stew and Livers, man. That dude's competing out there. I really like what I'm seeing
that's
from
what
him.
I like. Get stops. And Livers was a big part of that. Like on defense, getting stops. Orlando is who I saw Sacramento play. Boom. Because they had all of those Michigan players. Random thought. But but no, I like my man Stu was turning the ball over a little bit too much for my liking. That kind of bothered me. But no.
But Cade's gonna have his hands on the ball a lot. He's gonna be the de facto point guard. And
so that will cut down a lot of those turnovers because Cade is a good decision maker. So wish number one, Pistons stay healthy because then everything else will take care of itself. Because the nature of who they're like, Isaiah Stewart is a defensive first guy, right?
Yep.
Durant is a defensive first guy. And so we got a lot of guys who can't get on the floor unless they play defense. And that'll help with a lot of the close game problems and a lot of the young guys stuff. Is that our guys are defensive first guys.
Okay. I'm excited about them. One of my favorite things about the offseason are young cores, which we'll talk about later. We have some overlap here with my second wish, and that's John Collins to Charlotte. I really like that fit because they don't have anybody who can score inside. All right. They had Montrez last year. He's a free agent. Miles Bridges is clearly in some hot water. Who knows what's going to happen with him? Yeah. Right before, he was really going to make over 100 million, not 100. He was going to make over $100 million.
Guaranteed, too.
Yep. I heard 4 years, 114. Those were the numbers that I was hearing, and he screwed that up. So we're not even going to talk anymore about Miles Bridges. All right. If you want to know what Miles Bridges did, you can go online and find it.
That's party ball right there.
Is yeah. But John Collins to Charlotte paired him with LaMelo, and we'll see Book Night. Hopefully, he can come into his own.
Mhm.
I think that's a good 1-2 punch where you got somebody inside. They got Mark Williams who can protect the basket. I really, really like Mark Williams. When I saw him during the tournament, I
Mhm.
was like, this dude is a freaking monster. Like, he is a
Mhm.
beast. Like, I'm not seeing a ton on offense, but you can get this guy that can defend like crazy. He can defend the rim, and you got him on a rookie deal. You're not paying him no money.
Right.
I like Mark Williams
Angel
next to those.
defense.
What say you about that deal?
No, okay. So first of all, guys like Mark Williams is why you don't trade for as much as you traded for Rudy Gobert.
Agreed.
Okay, and so I like John Collins because Atlanta need to figure some stuff out. And I don't think Atlanta going to figure it out in time to get the best out of John Collins. And if you move him now, you can get the most for him.
Mm-hmm. They've been trying to move him for years, though, like at least 2 years. I don't know why, because this dude can play. He's a talented
But he be
player.
injured a lot too, though.
Yeah, that's true.
And so, no, I like John Collins to Charlotte, but can he stay healthy? And
Yep.
because do we think Gordon Hayward? What do we think Gordon Hayward's going to look like when he come back, Charlotte?
Man, that's a dude that he's been injured so much over the past 5 years. And before that, he was never injured. It all
Right.
started with the ankle injury up in when the first game in Boston after signing that max contract. And
Messing around with that damn Kyrie Irving.
ever since then, he's been the injured guy. So
I'm gonna go get an orange. I'll be right back. Okay, but no, you said what now?
I like Gordon Hayward as a player. I like him on the team, but again, you're paying the guy a lot of money that's injured often. So I think you can. I don't like Gordon at the 5 and Collins at the 5 and Gordon at the 4. I don't like that. Defensively, you're gonna be in trouble. But if you could play off those two guys where you have Collins playing at the 4 and then Hayward kind of fits in at the 3 and the 4 and sub him out. I like John Collins up there. And he's also a great lob threat. And so you got a lob threat up there with LaMelo and Terry Rozier, who likes to throw him up there too. I like the fit.
Okay, yeah, and so we agreed on that. And so because Atlanta, I think, was a year in front of where they were supposed to be. And so now it's like, okay, what is Atlanta's? We are not expecting Atlanta to be a team to be back in the Eastern Conference Finals, right?
Heck no.
No. Or win the Eastern Conference Finals. No. And so it's like, yeah, but they were in the Eastern Conference Finals. And so anytime they
fluke.
don't
Fluke.
Yeah. And so it was like, come on now. Every time they don't make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, it's gonna look like as a step back. And I don't think that's good for like John Collins and for like Trae Young. I think they should trade John Collins if they can, and then let the DeJounte Murray and Trae Young backcourt. I like that. But they're gonna be slight because DeJounte Murray's not small, he's just skinny.
Right.
But Young, because like I think the Pistons is gonna be a team that's really good, right? And I look at the size of our backcourt.
Oh yeah, we got some size.
And then you look at like, okay, but our backcourt's big on purpose, right?
Yep.
So Brooklyn is gonna keep Ben Simmons, yeah. And if Ben Simmons is going to be a primary ball handler, yeah, I don't know how he's a guy. That's okay. You want to talk about a guy that we be trading?
No. We're not even going to talk about Ben Simmons. I already know how. We do not need your Ben Simmons soliloquy. Continue. We're going to be a big backcourt. Cade is 6'6", 6'7"-ish. Jaden Ivey is 6'4", and they both have girth. They are not skinny guys. They both have great size. And then you got a guy like Bay, who's what? Bay is what, like 6'7", he's something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you got Beef Stew. His name is Beef Stew for a reason. You
Mm-hmm.
got Durant, who's gonna be a big guy. So I mean, you got Bagley, yeah. So you got a lot of guys with good size.
And then I was thinking like, okay, so Drew Holiday and Middleton in
Kind of, because they a lot of times they play Giannis at the 4, and
mm-hmm.
they have like Wes Matthews or somebody at the 2.
Mm-hmm.
But it's gonna be tough size wise
But
for
Chris
Atlanta.
Middleton, he's not a small guy.
Heck no.
And then so Charlotte, you're gonna have LaMelo and Rozier. You see, and then in Boston, you've got Smart, who's a big guy. You've got Brown, who's a big guy. You go one more, you got to deal with Tatum now.
Well, Brogdon got big guys.
And so I think Atlanta's in a tough spot.
They are. And I think that's why they traded for Murray, because they're like, we're just too small and we're not athletic enough in the backcourt
To be that
you get a guy like but Murray he's skinny, but he can hold his own. But Trae Young is always going to be a problem on defense. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That was my second wish. What's your next wish?
And so my second wish is that Ben Simmons get somewhere, anywhere, just out of the NBA.
Brooklyn. Out of NBA, go to the ABL,
mm-hmm.
Go to Australia.
That's not my real second wish. My real second wish is that my man Westbrook gets somewhere to show everybody that he's not the problem. That's my real second wish.
Where you want him to go?
That's the problem right there. Because I don't know where he fit.
I think if you swing the deal I was talking about, okay, now let's just think about the players. I know you hate the trade, but think about the players. You got Ayton, Bridges, Cam Johnson, Ben Simmons, and Russell Westbrook. Now that Ben Simmons piece is going to be, anywhere he goes, it's going to be a weird fit unless you build your team around him, which I don't know if anybody is crazy enough to do. But you have a team that there's no alpha on that. There's no star on that team. There's nobody to quote unquote answer to. So I think Russell Westbrook will kind of have free reign, especially now, remember, coming from two guys who just refuse to now play, to a guy that's going to play every game, that's going to give everything he has on the offensive end, not on defense. People talk about how he play on. He don't play.
In this deal, I get rid of Ben Simmons and I get Russell Westbrook.
No, well, I was saying, Ben Simmons will still be on that team with Westbrook, with Ayton, with Bridges, with Johnson, and whoever else they still have.
No, I want Ben Simmons not on my team and Russell Westbrook on my team.
I think the Lakers will make that trade.
They probably would. But can I get my third wish first?
Go for it.
So my third wish is everybody in Philadelphia stay healthy so my man Joel Embiid can finally get a for real playoff run. Because they have been, because of Ben Simmons shenanigans and trades and people disappearing, my man Joel Embiid has not been properly given a chance to make a for real run at the Eastern Conference. He's been hamstrung. Because this man has been playing too good in the playoffs, too good in the regular season to not even get a chance to, no, this is travesty.
Especially after that first run. Especially after that first run, when it clicked for him, he was like, oh, you know what? This sucks. Now I'm about to put it together.
Mm-hmm.
It's this thing he been killing.
Ever since Kawhi hit that buzzer beater. Right. Ever since then, and even in that playoffs, Joel Embiid balled.
Yeah, he had some issues himself, but when he was himself, he was still hooping. Yeah.
Right. And so that is my third wish, is that they finally let my man Joel Embiid get a chance to have a for real shot at it with no foolishness, with no new teammates coming in with no, is this guy gonna play? I mean, like for real, healthy run in the playoffs this year for my man Joel Embiid. He's been playing too good to have all the foolishness around him that he's had around.
I like what Philadelphia did. James Harden actually said, "Hey, I'm gonna take less money. I'm gonna do what I can to make sure this team is a good team that has a chance to win."
And on the other hand, you got Kevin Durant on the team that he built, on the team he asked everybody to be there. Please do this trade, do that trade. Now asking to be traded. Well, my guy, Big Game James, Big Beard James, my guy is going to take a pay cut for the team.
Well, like it's not that. It's how instead of James saying, "All right, trade me, I'm not coming in," he go, "Okay, I don't want to play here. I'm gonna come in. I'm gonna be the worst version of James Harden I could possibly be. I'm gonna be fat. I'm not going to play hard. I'm gonna make sure you know that I do not want to be here. Everybody will. It will not be a secret. I will make your team worse."
Did he show up to work or not?
Bro, if you show up to work drunk, okay, I don't want you here.
Hold on. Was he getting buckets or was he not getting buckets?
Where James Harden looked terrible when he showed up to Houston. And when he showed up to the Nets, when he wanted out, James Harden looked disinterested.
No. Stop. So when he showed up to Houston, was he getting buckets or was he getting buckets?
I think he dropped buckets for like a game or two, and then he was just terrible.
Then I don't.
You can't say he was good in Houston when he wanted out.
No, okay, then fine him, send him home then.
All right.
If we're gonna lose with guys who want to play hard.
Agreed.
And so you don't want to play, don't. But you're not getting paid.
No, you want him to come to work. He's like, "I'm not getting fined. I'm not losing my money. I'm coming to work. See, I'm here."
Mm-hmm. Then you sit on the bench.
Man, okay. So you're giving your soliloquy about guys that don't want to play and one out.
Mm-hmm.
This is how I would handle it. And then I'm going to go to my third wish and then some honorable mention.
Mm-hmm.
If a guy wants out, I'm working behind the scenes because I want to get maximum value for said guy. Because if you keep him on the team, he's upset and he comes in and does the James Harden, right? We'll look at this, the few ways that it's been done. He comes in, he plays like garbage, and he's throwing the ball at people on the team in practice. I do not want that guy around. I don't want him around. It really screws up the chemistry of your team. It creates a hostile work environment. Think about it. If you work at Walmart and you got, we can't even call him a cashier, you got a manager, because right, we're talking about James Harden was the best player on the team. That's throwing stuff at people, cussing people out. No. You know, we need to get you up out of here. Okay.
Right.
That's what I would do with that person. If it, again, here we go. Kevin Durant, a guy that showed up every day to work. Now, Kevin Durant showed up and played every day when he wasn't injured. And things go south with James Harden, with Kyrie. And he's like, all right, hey, like, it's not working out. I came here with these guys and they bailing. You know, let's try to get me up out of here. I'm like, okay. All right. Let's get Kevin Durant up out of here. Now it's perfect timing because I'm trying to get the best deal that I can. It's a long off season. We got time. And like you said, like you want to wait people out. Well, we can wait them out in the off season. It's way easier to do that. And where I can find the best deal. Because you said if you got a great deal, you would trade them, even if that deal that you came up with was preposterous. And then you have a guy like a Kyrie. Again, man, that dude he's something else. Okay. But still, I'm always trying to get maximum value for my asset as much as I can. And so when guys come out and they start to talk about the organization and it's just back and forth, right? People know that you need to get rid of them. People know that nobody wants, or they know that they'll only go to these two teams, right? You depress the value of who you have, right? So I'm working behind the scenes. I'm like, all right, hey, yo, theoretically, if I were to trade you or Kevin Durant, how many picks, how many guys, I like this guy. Like I'm working the phones. If I'm the owner or the GM, I'm working behind the scenes to try to get guys moved so I can get what I want. Because now look, Kevin Durant came out with his two teams. And so the rest of the league know, like, Kevin Durant don't want to be here. Why would we give you Cade Cunningham? Why would we give you Jaden Ivey? Why would we give you, Halliburton or whomever, name whatever young star, Jalen Green? Why would I give you Ant-Man? Like, why? He doesn't even want to come to Minnesota. So I'm working behind the scenes. That's how I would do it. Because now, guess what? Players now want to come to that organization because you can, then you know how to treat star players, right? It's not like he's not on a winning team and asking out because of nothing.
Why aren't we a winning team though?
Huh?
Why
aren't
not?
they?
Yeah.
Because he trusted James Harden and Kyrie Irving.
A big part of that is because we trusted you, Kevin. Kevin,
Also,
I can make an argument we was in a better.
But also, like you said, though,
down here, Kevin.
Like
Kevin,
you said,
you came here because we was trending in the right way before you got here, and now we're trending in the wrong way after you got here, Kevin. I can make you the problem, not us. That's why you're gonna sit down.
Exactly. So now you got to look at how Miami run things. Since you brought up Miami, they have an owner that's like, hey, I trust my GM. I trust my president of basketball operations, Pat Riley. So though there is no, I'm going to the owner. It's like, nah, time out, get out of here. You talk to Pat Riley, y'all figure that out. And then I'll talk to Pat and see what I want to do if there's something I need to address. And then Pat Riley has 100% control. There is no usurping what he can do. And what does Pat Riley then say? Eric Spoelstra is my guy. I don't care what y'all talking about. Eric Spoelstra's not going anywhere. And Udonis Haslem, he ain't going nowhere either. Right. I trust these two guys more than anybody. He's a player. He's my coach. Y'all figure it out from there. But not everybody. If everybody ran their stuff like that, players wouldn't be able to do what they want to do. But you have teams like Brooklyn where they'll go, Kevin Durant, whatever you want, please just come here. Because like you said, they had a great culture. They had guys that could play. They played well together. That Brooklyn team made it to the playoffs. But guess what? Without stars, guess what? You'll be a nice team going out in the first round every year.
So?
Well, if your goal is to just be a good team and to just, maybe sell tickets, then you're fine with that. If your goal is to win a championship, you got to get better players.
I will have the faith that I could draft a guy if you give me enough shots at it.
So you'd be tanking until you could get a Joel Embiid, basically.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have took me as long as it took Philadelphia. But yeah.
Well, if you get good players, because this is the thing, if you keep getting good enough players, you're never going to have a pick that's going to be able to get you. You're not going to have a top pick.
Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown were both Brooklyn picks.
Right. They were terrible. That's how they got those picks.
Because Brooklyn was terrible.
Because they traded to get good guys.
Those good guys was Paul Pierce and freaking what's his name? If you had just kept being terrible, you could have been Brooklyn drafting Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum.
But that wasn't. You don't anticipate being bad when you go and get good players.
No, old good players, yeah, you do. No, I would always give me a chance at getting the next guy for the next 10 years than some guy that was good 10 years ago. No.
I agree. But that wasn't their strategy. They had Joe Johnson they brought in, and they had Darren. Look, remember, they went and got Darren Williams in that free agency deal. So they were getting good players. They would have been, like you saying, they would have been a good team. They never would have been bad enough to get a good draft pick without trading all of their picks away to get bad by getting old. It wasn't just in the vacuum. They didn't just get bad by accident. They were good, but they knew they weren't good enough. So you try to go and get stars who still have something left.
Man. Then you keep your picks. Because Giannis got taken at 15. The Joker got taken in the second round.
Exceptions.
How many of those guys is going to be exceptions before you? Okay, Bam Adebayo.
Bam ain't a superstar. He can't be the best player on your team and win a championship.
Okay, so how many of those guys is there?
Like 7. 5 to 7.
If you're not one of those guys, then you don't count.
Again, are you trying to win a championship or are you just trying to be good?
How many of those guys do I need? I only need one of those guys if there's only 7 of them.
They're spread out. I mean, it takes great scouting. It takes great.
How many of them do I need?
Sometimes.
Do I need more than one?
Huh?
Do I need more than one?
You need at least one.
Okay.
And then you need other high-level guys around them.
Okay, if I've got 5 guys in the top 30, but none of them are in the top 7, am I good enough?
If you have 5 guys in the top 30, but none of them in the top 7, depends on where they are. Because you were putting the list together. Like guys from 8 to 12, that's different than guys from 17 to 22. That's a different guy.
How so?
The talent gap is different. Like I'd put Jason Tatum at maybe like 9. I think I have him somewhere in that area, 9. And so number 20 is probably is a different guy. Wait, let me pull it up.
A different tier. You gave me different criteria.
Like, okay, if Zach LaVine and Jason Tatum.
Okay, where do you have Zach LaVine?
I got Zach LaVine further. He's in the dark green section.
So what's the title?
The title is great, but no evidence. Talented guy, but we haven't seen him really do much in the playoffs.
Okay.
So if you have a guy, let's do it. Let's go to the tiers. Let me share my screen. I have yours up here too.
Okay, good. And you see how you got what you was basing them on and what I was basing them on. So you kind of boxed me into a spot to where I could only have 5 guys per spot, but then you've got 7 guys in your franchise changer. Oh, that's 1, 2, 3, 4.
I
5.
think maybe I guess I was working from that first list. And then I was like, hey, wait, guys are missing. Because I think I was looking for Draymond Green on one list and he wasn't there. So I'm like, wait. So I went to a different list, but I guess I didn't send you the new one.
Okay. Yeah.
So
that list that you gave me top 5. And so I went Steph 1. I went KD 2. I went Giannis 3. I went Goat James 4, and I went Joel Embiid 5.
So I think Giannis, Steph, they're instantly in my top 5.
You got the same guys in your top tier. My
top tier is all of those. Yep, all of those same guys. I would count Jokic because he's kind of been dragging this Nuggets team since those guys got injured.
Okay, that's true. See, that's the thing. Based on your criteria, Jokic gets up there. Based on the way you set it up for me, Jokic don't even make the list for me.
How is he not in your top 5? Or 6 to 10?
Because I went with guys who win and guys who actually carry their team. And do I think they
Klay Thompson never carried a team?
Do I think these guys can carry these guys? So 6 through 10 is either A, guys I think as the number 1 player can carry a team to the title, or B, you see Klay Thompson there, guys I've seen asked to be big in big moments and have won titles. And so I've got Clay, Kawhi, Dame, Chris Paul, and Jason Tatum.
So you got, because I saw that Clay, I was like, wait a second. Like even Clay right now.
Yep.
I'm not talking about Clay from 3 years ago.
How they look in this playoffs we just had?
Nah, he ain't look like old Clay. He was solid at some points.
Did he? Okay, so on the nights when Steph didn't have it and they needed him to have it, did he have enough?
You think he's better than Luka?
Yeah, he's won. Luka hasn't. Luka ain't won nothing. Win something. Win something. No, no. I'm not crediting these dudes because they put cute numbers up in the regular seasons. Get out of my face. No, not impressed
Luka
with
just
Luka.
took his team to the conference finals. He didn't even have an all-star on his team. He's only got there.
No. Okay, and then what? Look at who he played on the way there. That's one of them. That's one of them Atlanta conference finals. No. That's like when Minnesota made that conference final. That's like when Denver
Well, you said
made
that
that finals that one year. No.
you said he didn't win anything, right? He got to the conference finals. He's getting to the playoffs basically almost every year. That's something. That
Okay, so
means
Trae
something.
Young could be up there too then, yeah.
I got Trae Young in my top 3. He's on the 3rd tier.
Okay, so you got Trae Young on the 3rd tier. I've got him on the 4th tier.
I think Luka should be higher, but it is what it is. I
I
think
got
you can
Luka
build
as
your
the
team.
first guy. He's the first guy on the 3rd tier.
You can't build your team around Klay Thompson.
You say what?
You think you can? Okay, so you had your criteria, either somebody who's done it at a high level on the high stage when needed, and guys you can build your team around. So I guess everybody else fits that criteria. Klay is the only one that I would have like a gripe with, but okay. We've seen Chris Paul kind of be really injured in the playoffs and have some issues, but I think when he plays and when he's healthy, Chris Paul is one of my favorite players of all time. Can't take that away from him. But like Anthony Davis, he has some issues. And so there are a couple of guys, right, on my list. So my franchise changers, Giannis, Steph, Jokic, Embiid, KD, I think those guys are unquestionable. Even LeBron, even with his injuries, he's 37, 38 years old. He's had issues. Luka hasn't won a championship, but he's setting the league on fire. Like he's doing the Jokic. He's dragging whatever team you give him, and he's making his team dangerous. You're not going to win without another guy. You're not. You're just not.
Okay.
And then you got Kawhi Leonard, who, I mean, when's the last time he played? But when he does play, he's dang near unstoppable when he turned it on, especially in the playoffs. Kawhi Leonard is
especially in the playoffs when the money on the line.
Yeah. I mean, Luka's numbers don't drop off in the playoffs. He's still great in the playoffs. Like great in the playoffs.
Enough for him to do anything.
When he gets something, he hasn't had anything. He had Kristaps, who's been injury prone. I put my money on Kristaps and I lost. I crapped out. Okay. And this year, Jalen Brunson started actually doing some stuff. And what would you look at that? But it was all built on Luka. So we could quibble here and there. He's close enough. Okay, so my next tier, these guys are ones and they put you in the discussion, but they need a little more around them. Those first guys, they get you to the second round by themselves. I believe all those first guys can get you to the second round at least by themselves, even with a team that's not great. The next tier down, those guys need a little bit more help, right? Jason Tatum needs a Jaylen Brown. Jimmy Butler is kind of, again, one of these exceptions where he went to Minnesota, they got to the playoffs. He left, they suck. He went to Philly, they almost make it to the finals. He left, and, you know, they're still trying to figure it out. He went to Miami, got them to the finals, took LeBron to 6 games with a team that wasn't even really that good. Jimmy Butler is like this anomaly where he gets to the play. He kind of like Kawhi Light. When he gets to the playoffs, it's like, all right, I'm done playing with y'all. I'm going to go into boss
Exactly.
mode. You got to the top of the Mortal Kombat ladder, and so now it's time for me to turn it on. That's Jimmy
Yep.
Butler, and so he has pushed his way into this tier.
All right.
Where
And
do you have
so
Jimmy?
I've got Jimmy at 31 in front of Idris.
So this would actually be 21 because of the numbers and how they look, how they're weird.
Yeah. No,
Wow.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Yeah, 21.
So you think he's the 21st best player?
Yeah, because like
Better
I'll,
than you think Trae Young is better than Jimmy?
yes, I do.
Okay, so you talked about before winning, doing stuff. Jimmy Butler figures a way to get his teams to the playoffs and has made deep runs.
He
But
do.
you have Anthony Davis up there ahead of him. You got Trae Young ahead of him, Donovan Mitchell, Sabonis. You got a lot of guys ahead of him that have done nothing.
I've done no winning. Yeah, I'm looking
How?
at that now. I'm like, do I put him behind? I think I want to put him behind AD is what I want to do.
Okay. So AD
And
is
put
on my second
Sabonis
tier.
behind, put Sabonis behind Idris.
Okay. All right.
Because
I see that. I see
Idris
that.
out of Bayou, he's not Bam until he plays like Bam.
I had issues with a guy like AD and Paul George. AD,
Because
Paul George, and Devin Booker could kind of be in their own tier. Like if I would literally make one in between the orange one and that lighter orangish yellow color, because these guys are talented enough to be ones, but you can't count on them to be ones.
Yeah.
They're not actually ones in real life. Like you look at Paul George, 6'9", 220, can handle, can shoot, can play defense on anybody. He's not a one though. He's not.
Yeah. He should be
You look
higher,
at
but we can't put him higher because we know the truth about him.
AD. There is no reason why AD should not be a top 5 player in this league.
That's why he go lower.
That's another guy like I had trouble with. And again, Devin Booker, before Chris Paul got there, what were they? They wasn't nothing. They got to the bubble, they had their little run, and then they went and got Chris Paul. So Devin Booker, I mean, he's a guy that's talented. I don't see him as a one though. When I watch Devin Booker play and I see him on the court with Giannis, Tatum, Jokic, and be like, I can't put Devin Booker. I don't think he'll ever get to the level with those guys. I don't think he can be the best player on your team and you win the championship. Now, unless you have like, again, you need another super high level guy. So like if you got Devin Booker and Brandon Ingram, then okay, you got a shot. Booker and Jaylen Brown, you got a shot. But him, Paul George, and AD were in this weird place for me. What you think?
Okay. I'm thinking about Devin Booker and I might have him too high. I've got Devin Booker in that yellow tier. I've got him in the same tier you've got him in, but it looks like, so I'm looking at the yellow tier, right? That third one. And I've got Devin Booker there. You've got Devin Booker there. I've got Brandon Ingram there. You've got Brandon Ingram there. And then I've got Luka there, and you've got Luka all the way up in the red.
Yes, sir.
I've got James Harden there, and you've got James Harden down there in the green.
Yep.
And then you got DeMar DeRozan there, and I don't have him anywhere on the board. And see, but then I'm looking at the way you did it. Okay, 2 playoff makers. Like,
so the number right there is like this person, are they a 1 or are they a 2 or a 3?
Okay. And so, okay, out of those guys, yeah, those guys are all very high end too.
Exactly. And I think again, I looked at DeMar DeRozan because when we do these kind of lists and stuff, it's a balance of what have you done like now and what is your track record? How good are you now? That's why my Clay one was like, dang, like, okay, I know what Clay has done. I know who he could be. Maybe he'll get back to it. But right now, it's a different story. So with DeMar DeRozan, again, this is a guy who's gotten his teams to the playoffs all the time when he was in Toronto. Okay, they even made it. I think they made it maybe one year in San Antonio with him in LA. I could be wrong about that. But he's a guy that kind of did they ever make it?
No, they were in the play-in.
Okay. But he makes your team better. Like he just raises the level of your team. And when he was in Toronto, he would get to the playoffs. He would lose to LeBron, but those were 50-win teams all the time with him and Kyle Lowry. Then he goes to Chicago this year, and when that team was dead in the water, he literally carried them when Lonzo was injured and Caruso was injured, which is their starting backcourt that just wreaked havoc all over the league. And you had just Zach LaVine, and we know what he is by himself. That team not very good. So you kind of saw DeMar take a step forward. And so that was my that's why he landed so high there. But you go, man, is he?
I don't even got DeMar in the top 50 or
You wouldn't, so you wouldn't put him anywhere if you could place him?
2-3 ceiling raiser.
Oh, you would move him down the spot.
On your tier list, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
And see, like Kawhi, okay, so your helpful star, you got dudes who ain't gonna be there enough.
That's why they so low. Look, these guys are James Harden, Kyrie, Donovan Mitchell. These guys are all-star level players. They should be higher. For James Harden, how good he is in the regular season, he should be higher on this list. But we've seen him come up small too many times in the playoffs.
That's why I got him. I got him in that yellow tier.
And again, Kyrie. We've seen him on the biggest stage, but guess what? That was like 5 years ago. And what has he done? He went to Boston. That team was worse with him there. He went to Brooklyn. That team was worse with him there. And now he's wanting out.
Right.
So I'm like,
worse, which is why he shouldn't even be on the list. How is he helpful if he make team that he not even on my list? Him or Ben Simmons, they get no airplay.
Ben Simmons not on my list at all. So
yeah, I noticed it.
But you can't. I mean, the guy he can average 25 and 7 a game. Like, this guy's really talented, but he has these other issues that make it hard to place him. Okay, Donovan Mitchell, again, he had that time where him and Murray went for 50 and he was hooping, but I can't just ignore what I've seen the past 2 years. Well, Utah, you go, don't trust them. They completely melted down last year. They completely melted down when they had Kawhi Leonard injured and it was just Paul George and freaking Reggie Jackson, and you can't close the deal. Come on. You got to be, if you Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, and they're both in the same tier, y'all got to be able to get to the conference finals. And then this year, bruh, Luka Doncic missed 3 games and you can't get past Dallas? You should be ashamed of yourself, Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell. Especially Donovan Mitchell. Especially Donovan. So, but again, you can't just say they don't belong on the list. These are supremely talented, all-star level guys. Right. So they got to go somewhere. They're basically at the bottom because those other guys, they're kind of just talented, honorable mentions. Clay, good player. I don't know what he is right now. I think next year he'd probably be in a different spot on this list. CJ, I think he's done some really good things in the playoffs, but he can't be your second best player. He can't be. He's too small, and he don't play no defense.
I wonder what the NBA gonna look like 20 years from now.
Well,
athlete wise, because I'm looking at all the young guys. I look at the young point guards. Look at Zion. Look at Evan Mobley.
I
Look
think
at
you're gonna get
Shea
to a point,
Alexander.
and I am already here. It doesn't matter. Your position does not matter. What can you do on the court? Because if you 6 foot, but you can't dribble, you are not a point guard.
See, you're right.
So look at Gary Payton Jr., right? Gary
Mm-hmm.
Payton II got paid $28 million. Is he really a point guard?
Nope.
He's not. He's really not. They really played him like a 3-and-D wing center kind of player, depending on matchup. So you can't, I'm a 5. Like, okay, look at Cat. Did he play like a 5? Like, what is a 5 now? Cat don't block shots and grab rebounds like that. He shoot like a shooting guard. He's an oversized shooting guard. That's what Cat is. That could post up. So I think as we move on and we keep getting guys like Chet and Usman Jang that came from France, who knows how good he'll be. But the skill set is I can do whatever, no matter my size. Wembanyama, the guy's supposed to be coming from France next year that everybody's salivating over. The question is going to be, okay, who can play around him, regardless of position? Who can play together?
Right. Because that was a big concern we had with the Pistons bigs. It's like
Yep.
what parents are gonna work. That was one of the encouraging things though, is that Dirt and Beef Stew pairing worked. And so I got dudes who are asked to carry the team or a really good second. So I got AD, because when healthy, he do play well. This is where I have Trae Young. So that's what I have him in the same. No, I have him one tier lower. Trae Young. I got Donovan Mitchell because he's asked to drive the bus, as Charles
Chuck.
Barkley said. And then I got Jaylen Brown, and then I got Sabonis. I like Sabonis because every time, so like Indiana was trying to get it done with TJ Warren and all of them, and they was winning, but they weren't getting the high draft picks, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Sabonis was working, Turner was working, they blew it all up. Sabonis is in Sacramento now, I think. And I want
Yep.
that. We talked about Sacramento working earlier. And so I want it to work, and I want Sabonis to be a big part of that. So that's why Sabonis got there in that spot.
Sabonis is a good player. I like Sabonis. It's been talked about like, all right, what is he defensively? Is he a 4? Is he a 5? Can you guard on the perimeter? The answer is kind of no, but you know, you can even if you're not the fastest player, you can kind of figure out if you're fast enough. I have Trae Young, Brandon Ingram, Jaylen Brown, and Booker and DeMar in the same area. And so it'll be interesting. I would love to see Jaylen Brown kind of have his own thing, but I don't know how much better he could be. I like him in this spot. And so in the yellow tier, I have Draymond, Chris Paul, Pascal, Bam, and Chris Middleton. Draymond was hard to place too because of what he does for the Warriors. He's not like talented like these, like a James or a Donovan or Booker. He's not like those guys, but what he does for his team is invaluable. Like they don't win championships without Draymond Green.
Okay.
So he deserved to be higher than the guys that he's above. But he ain't a Book or an Ingram or one of those.
And this is another situation to where how your criteria and the criteria you sent me is going to put that, because Draymond didn't show up on my list at all. But
Right.
if you do it the way you're doing it, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, then no, Draymond definitely got to be in the yellow somewhere.
Right.
And so it'll be him, and then it'll be another guy that did make it be Siakam. Yeah, and so that's uh that's the Draymond thing. I don't have Draymond at all on my list because I wanted to show some love to the young guys at the back end of it. And so
Yeah,
you put your on the rise thing. And so my on the rise tier, how many guys do I have on my on the rise tier that you have?
you got five.
Melo is one. Uh
You
and
got
that is
LaMelo, Cade.
Cade. I don't see Cade. Where's Cade on yours?
No, Cade's not on mine.
Cade is on mine. I was looking for guy. Oh, you see, I got in between Garland and Mobley. And because I didn't
Mm.
have enough bigs, I went with Mobley. But I really, had I got a chance to do it the way you did it, I would have took both of them. I would have took Mobley and Garland because I would have taken Maxey out. I would have took
Mm-hmm.
Murray out, and I would have took Van Fleet out because Van Fleet too old to be on the rise. Murray too hurt, and I don't see what the big deal about the Maxey kid is. Everybody be humping him up, hyping him up. I don't see it with Maxey,
You don't
and
think
so
he
I
played
went.
well in the playoffs?
Yeah, he played all right.
He played better than James Harden.
Wow, you watch yourself about big game James.
Um, we know what Anthony Edwards is. That dude, he could, man,
I like
that dude
him.
is, man, that dude is something else. He's super athletic. He's huge and he could do whatever he wants. And he's got the confidence on the court to hang with anybody. So he's on the rise right now, but he's clearly going to shoot up this board. These guys are super talented, but haven't done a whole lot. But you see a guy like Fred VanVleet and Jamal Murray at the end is because we've seen them do things. Like I've seen Fred VanVleet be an integral part, a top three. I mean, because you go, it was what's that man name? Kawhi Leonard. And then who was the second best player on that team when they won a championship?
Right.
I mean, maybe Siakam, Freddie VanVleet, third at the worst. So I
Mm-hmm.
had to show him some love there. Jamal Murray, again, we've seen him light it up in the playoffs. So I think he deserves some spot on here. Now they probably don't belong on the rise,
Mm-hmm.
but they didn't necessarily fit in any of those other categories. I don't think. So I just kind of stuck them there. Um,
Okay.
the rest of those guys, now Ant-Man has been in the playoffs. We've seen what he can do. DeJounte Murray has not, but I think he'll get a chance with the Hawks.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason that they should not be in the playoffs this year, and that dude can play. I just like his game. Darius Garland is really good. He's a
Yes,
really
Garland
good
is
point
really
guard.
good.
Love his game. He kind of reminds me of Kyrie, kind of his unorthodox kind of move in different angles, how he plays. His shot is really smooth. I really like him. Again, Shea belongs in the same category with DeJounte Murray. These guys have been on like losing teams, but they're not losing players. They're really
Mm.
good. And then
Right.
LaMelo, it's just early. Like that team is figuring it out, and he is the engine that makes that team go. Big
Mm-hmm.
point guard, can shoot it, sees it all. So these guys are coming. Yeah. And look, Cleveland is good. Charlotte, there's no reason why they can't be in the conversation.
Yep.
Oklahoma City is probably going to be bad maybe one more year. And
Yeah.
then Minnesota is obviously good. And we'll see what DeJounte
But
Murray does with the Hawks.
the worst thing about Minnesota is that they gotta rely too heavily on Cat being good.
Well, he's your second best player. Like he has to be that good. He
Mm.
better come on and be that good because you paid him a max deal twice, and what
Mm-hmm.
this, you just paid him his max, and he was a number one pick, wasn't he? Like he has the skills and the size to be a really really good player. It's just are you gonna figure it out? Because you can't move that great with the ball and then just be a bum on defense when you don't have the ball. It doesn't make sense to me. So yeah, they are rely heavily on Cat. That's why they got Gobert.
Right. More of the same. And that's why I have like a guy like Zion. I've got him in like my on the rise because I'm hoping he bounced back from injury. And what are we gonna ask him to do? We're gonna ask him to back up Brandon Graham and hopefully, give people, fits on the front court. Because with
He's gonna be
McCollum,
starting
and you've got McCollum as a helpful star too. So you've got
because I've seen it.
right Ingram
I've
and
seen him hoop.
McCollum and Zion. See, I like those three guys. And so
Yeah,
yeah,
Zion is his athleticism and size and skill is too much to ignore. He can't not be on list because
right.
of what he can remember. Remember when he played, he averaged like 28, right?
Yeah,
60% from the field. It was stupid. It was like video
15
game.
rebounds. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's gonna be like, all right, good luck trying to figure that dude out. Chet Holmgren, good luck trying to deal with Zion on the inside.
if Chet Holmgren couldn't guard Kenny Lofton Jr. on the inside, how is he
Exactly.
going to guard Zion Williams?
Exactly. And then we already talked about Cat. Beal had a little bit of a playoff look, but he can't barely get that team to the playoffs at all by
Right.
himself over there. So I want to see. I don't know. I'm kind of cold on Beal. And Levine, another guy, super talented. He can average 25 to 28 points. He does, but his Chicago team hasn't done anything. So,
Right. And the owner don't care.
so I mean, now that team's gonna be. I think they picked up Andre Drummond.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really going to help with their inside presence. At least he's active. He can screen. He can rebound. He'll be a body in the paint. What are some, before we get out of here, a few free agent deals that you like?
A few free agent deals that I have liked. I didn't like 7 Mile Dre going to Chicago. I did not like that. Yes, it's a good fit and everything, but Andre Drummond was one of my personal favorite players. I don't like seeing my favorites play for the Bulls, but that's going to fit and that's going to work, I think. And so I think he's going to have a good run, especially because what they're asking him to do, they're not asking him to be, all-star Andre Drummond anymore. They saying, hey, can you give us, 12 and 8 in a block? And if that's all you asking for, I think Andre Drummond is going to excel in that role. And I just don't want him doing that for the Bulls. But it will make the Bulls fun to watch, and that's a more fun to watch team because somebody's going to have to win the games and somebody's going to have to lose the games. So as many teams that are fun to watch as possible is what I want.
I know you like the Bagley deal.
Yes, it did. It was the right number. And because if Durden works so good next to Beef Stew, then why wouldn't Bagley? Bagley and Beef Stew work good together. And so yeah. And so I like the Bagley deal, especially for the number of years, because 3 years from now, if everybody's made a jump, right? That means Ivy's the guy we think he is. Cade's the guy we think he is. That means Durden's played well. That means Bay is good. That means Beef Stews took another step. Then, then we'd be in a good spot, because then we'd have a young core that's played together, and then we could just, whoever the best of those three guys maybe keep, and you try to do it with those guys.
I like the Bagley deal simply because I heard somebody else say, like, who are you bidding against? Like, Bagley hasn't done anything since he came in the league. Really, he's had injury issues. And so maybe you could have got him on a cheaper deal, maybe. I don't think like 12 million is not that much. And I think there's a lot of upside because if you can get away from Sacramento, you're going to be exponentially better, I think, because he was a number 2 pick behind Ayton in front of Luka. Can you freaking believe that?
Yes.
So he has a ton of skill. Yeah. I think he can be a really good player to where either in January, this is going to look like a bargain bin basement deal, or it's going to look like crap. I think by January, we'll know.
Oh, we'll know. Yeah, and so then we could do that around All-Star weekend. Let's see how things look All-Star weekend.
Yep.
All righty. Who are you looking forward to seeing in the summer league? Some more of. Who's your favorite guy you've seen in the summer league so far?
I mean, of course, there's always, you see guys like, Chet is the big names. I really like how Giddy
Yeah,
controls the game. Like this
that was
dude
my
is,
first time seeing Giddy play. Was last night
oh
against
man,
Houston. I was like, okay, I like him. I get it now. Okay, and with Alexander, okay, Oklahoma City. I'm so happy. I'd rather Chet Holmgren be in Oklahoma City than Detroit because he still looked too thin for me. But with those
yeah.
guys and the way they trying to do it, like because Chet Holmgren did a couple of things, like, oh, okay, that's the stuff they're talking about that they like. Okay, and
Mm-hmm.
so I'd much rather he be up there, over there, than in Detroit because I'm happy
Give me
with that.
Cade any day. Another guy in Oklahoma City that's hooping, Jalen Williams from Santa Clara, I think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Every time I watch him, he's either hitting the three or getting to the basket. Like
Mm-hmm.
that dude is
Yeah,
going,
he's got the one little
he's gonna
braid.
crack their line.
He's got the braid. That kid,
Yeah.
yeah, that kid's a monster. That kid's a monster. And so Oklahoma City, and I want to see some more of Orlando because I got a lot of Michigan guys. And so other than the Pistons, and so yeah, it's the Pistons, it's Orlando, it's Oklahoma City, and it's the Warriors. Those is the summer league team I'm watching for the rest of summer league. Who you watching for the rest of summer league?
Um, I'm gonna watch the Lakers because they have no choice. Listen, they have no choice but for somebody on this team to be good because they really, really need it based on the guys that they had to sign, based on where their cap is because of their top three guys. Somebody has to hit in order for this team to actually have a chance. Scottie Pippen Jr. has
Mm-hmm.
played really well. We talked about Bass earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a LeBron fan, so I want the Lakers to be good. So we'll see what happens there. It's always Detroit first.
Oh,
Um,
they're about to be on in a minute. Lakers Warriors is about to be on in a second.
yeah, I've been really trying to watch as much Pistons summer league as I can, and I like the Rockets. I like Josh Christopher.
Mm-hmm.
I really like Daishen Nix. That's a real point guard. And he's got good size. And they got a guy, Garuba, there. He's big. I really like the Rockets young core as well, along with, the Pistons and the Thunder. The
Mm-hmm.
Thunder's like, all right, are you tall? Do you have skill? Okay, you can play for us.
Somebody just pulled in my driveway, Anthony. I am going to have to let you go.
All right.
All righty.
That's it for us. Signing off for Big Stu. It's
Love
been
you.
great. Over and out. We'll see you in the next ramble.
No, hold on, stop. Quick rant. Saved round.
Uh-oh.
Saved round. Communications. It is never over and out. No, when you say over, you are asking, did you understand what I just
Oh,
said?
man.
Okay, that is what you're saying. So it's like, hey, I need you to be at such place at 1500. Do you copy? Over? That means
Over. And then
I need you to respond now. When I say out, that means I am done talking and I don't need a response. You will never say over and out at the same time. Those clash with each
but
other head to
but
head.
doesn't the out override the over?
Yes, you would just say out. You would not say over and out. You would just say out, not over
Okay, the
and
military man has spoken.
everybody who's ever spent any time on the radio, every time they hear it in a movie, every time they see it on TV, it bothers you.
Okay.
Because like, no, is it over or is it out? It can't be both. Either you want me
It's
to
the
say,
last one I said.
see, okay, love you, out.
See you all in the next ramble.
All right.
Mm, 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 mm.